everybody, and welcome to episode 142 of the Let's Play world. It is a wonderful day here in the Minecraft world, and our farms are doing their thing. Let's take a look at that real quick. So over on this side, we've got items flowing in here, and you can see the sugarcane is starting to stack up, so that's great. Over on the other side, we've got our bamboo farm, and that is cooking along as well. So we'll have lots of bamboo once 1.20 drops. And speaking of 1.20, this is definitely the last episode before 1.20 gets released. Actually, it just gets released in a couple of days here. And I'm not sure if I'm going to update immediately, mainly because there's a couple of mods that I use, specifically like the free cam and the replay mod. And those usually take anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks to get updated. So I'll see how that goes. You know, I might update pretty quickly if they get on the ball, and if things are taking a little longer, I might wait a week before updating, but we'll see how it goes. I've been doing a bunch of work around here, and speaking of free cam, let's use that to show you some of what I've been doing. If I break the camera away here and we take a look, you can see on this side, I've almost got this all the way kind of finished up. And I just sort of took that roof line, brought it over. Still need to kind of seal up the end cap, but that is real close. As we look up, we have our second floor up here with like the map rooms and stuff like that. And I've started to kind of frame it in the deep slate, but haven't figured all that out yet. As we scoot across, I did put some windows upstairs here. And this side, I've also got this end cap pretty well figured out. I just haven't sealed it all the way up. Still need to put a roof on this, but I put this wall here, and the wall has a door in it, and I used the space above the loaders as sort of like a little balcony or a little deck. Once we get inside, we'll check that out. Around the back, got this all in finally. I went ahead and sealed up the bedroom, brought this wall all the way up, and kind of figured out a little bit of how it's going to match up here. So that is basically the backside of the base. I think what I want to do today is maybe put a roof on this side and then spend some time way up here adding the next section of our tower. The idea all along with the tower has been that you have to fly to get up here and to get between different sections. And the next portion of the tower is going to be pretty small, you know, because it's getting skinnier as we go up. But I think it'll be really useful. We'll have a couple of areas up there that'll be kind of fun. But let me show you some of the work here. So obviously, I still have these little poke holes so that I can get out there and finish up the loader, unloader areas. As we walk up, I brought this wall. Oh my gosh. That's not supposed to happen. Man, what a nightmare. So, as I was going to say, I brought this wall up to enclose the bedroom, and it sort of created this dark space up here. And right there, I had accidentally left a ledge, and it was absolutely dark, and anything could spawn up there, so that's where the creeper came from. I just jumped up there and put some stairs, so hopefully we'll never deal with that again. But you can see the ceiling up there, but at a glance, it just looks like this sort of cavernous area. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. As we go up and we go into the bedroom, we got a lantern hanging from the ceiling here, and just the same enclosed space. There's a window on that side, a window here. So from the outside, there's some, you know, interest there. And that looks real cool, I think. You can see I added a couple of armor stands in here, and once we get some of the armor trims, we can make fancy armor and use that for decoration. As we cut across here and we go up into the portal room, you can see, again, I built that wall up there. And this is pretty well enclosed. I added a window here that sort of matches the one in the bedroom, and from the outside, it creates a little bit more interest, like I was saying. Got some lights and chains hanging here. 3 windows on this wall that, again, from the outside make it look a little more interesting. And then here we have that little balcony, that little kind of outcropping above our sorting system. I think that looks great. And then once we get a roof on here, a lot of this will get kind of cleaned up and defined. put a window here and I put a window here. And I was thinking about this, I was imagining I would enclose it, but now I'm kind of reconsidering. I kind of want to bust this wall back down and maybe just put a wall here so we can have kind of like an exposed staircase. I think that might be kind of cool looking. Once we get up here into the map room, most of this you've seen already, except here where I kind of connected it to the bedroom down below. Still a ton of work to do out here. And like I was saying today, besides putting a roof above the portal room, I'd like to hop up there and do some work on our next section of the tower. Man, that creeper freaked me out. We've been so privileged to have these like fancy bases and great armor, so we haven't really had to worry about monsters in a long time. Speaking of, we finished up our cow farm, so we can take that off the wall of tasks. I think another farm that I want to do, that I'm kind of rethinking, is a wool farm. I was imagining the wool farm would kind of be out on this side. And what I was thinking is, we would need to have sheep of all the different colors so that we could get all the different colors of wool. But one of the things that they're doing in 1.20 is adding universal dyeing. And what that means is that we can take any color of wool and dye it to any other color of wool. And so potentially what we could do is, in some of these areas like that, we could make little dye farms. And then all we would need is white wool, and we could dye it to whatever color we wanted. There's a few spots around here where there are some flowery kind of areas. And if we could find all the different types of flowers, then we could make dye farms in each of those areas so we would get those different colors of dye. Just sort of an idea I had. I don't have like a full plan or anything yet, but I am going to add dye farms to the wall of tasks. Like I said, today's going to be mostly about the base and doing some work there. And maybe next episode we'll do a little bit more, but then once we get to 1.20, we're really going to shift gears and we're going to branch out because we have a ton of exploring to do. Below the wall of tasks, I have these 2 lecterns, and they each have a book. This one says Armor Trims, and it has a list of all the different armor trims and where to find them. Similarly, this book here is a list of all of the pottery and where to find it. And that means we have a lot of exploring to do. We have to go find all of those different places. And, we've done quite a lot of exploring, but we can't go back to the same desert temple or the same jungle temple or the same ocean monument. We have to find new ones. So we'll definitely be kind of poking around in these areas and these areas and these areas. And hopefully we can find all of those different structures. We can find the cherry blossom orchards, and we can find the trail ruins. But one thing at a time. And first things first, we're going to get some work done on our base. And let's do that in the form of a time lapse. Pretty great. When we come up here, it is now totally enclosed, and it is really dark up there, which I like a lot. I think what I'm going to do is some beams, maybe out of spruce like we did downstairs to kind of match that theming. And then as far as lights, we definitely don't want torches on the floor. I might suspend pendant lights, or again, maybe do something like we did down here with these sorts of frog light kind of lamps. That might be kind of cool as well. You might have noticed right at the end there, I started tearing this wall down. So when we get up here now, we have an open air staircase. And obviously we can see off in this direction, and we can see our brand new roof. Did a little bit of texturing, and I went ahead and put a lightning rod there just to be safe. And this looks really great, I think. When we come down, we'll just have a little bit of open air, and we dip back inside to the portal room. This window and some of these other little elements here might make the beams a little bit tricky. I'm just going to try some stuff out and see if it looks any good. I think this is 23 blocks long, and so if we went like 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, that would equal 23. I'm going to try that out and see what it looks like. Okay, the torches are not permanent. I just don't want anything spawning on top of these right now. We'll probably put either like glow lichen or wool or something. Let's take a look from this angle over here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. It adds a little bit of structure to the build, another material so that there's some more warmth in here and some organic stuff. I think that's going to work pretty well. And then potentially we could suspend lights from each of these. Well, I think this might work. I need to check and make sure we're all spawn proof, but I got the lights all at this height throughout. And on top, I just put some black carpets. I was going to do glow lichen, but it looks better when it's dark up there, I think. Yeah, all these lights, same height. I think that looks really good. And we're getting some light from the portal as well. That looks pretty cool, I think. Kind of feel like we need some decoration or something in here. It's a pretty big space, and we got this little area here. We've got these corners over here. We could potentially put something on the wall. We'll see. We'll see. Well, we're changing things up a little bit. With the soul lanterns, there were some spots that got down to 0 along the edges of the walls. So I went with frog lights and raised them up 1. So they are at the same level as what we have downstairs. Did the same sort of design element. Does put a little bit more light on the ceiling, which is not all bad, I guess. It's cool to see some of that detail. But yeah, I think this is going to work. It keeps everything spawn proof, and it keeps the same sort of design elements throughout. So the last thing I want to do today is add one more section to the top of the base. Had a little bit of an idea for some small spaces that sort of spiral around the central blackstone column. I was doing some sketching and I put something up on the Discord server. I'll put it up on the screen for you now. Just kind of a floor plan that has those tiny spaces that kind of make their way around that column. I think it's going to be really cool and add some kind of neat, unique areas to the base. So let's do that in another time lapse. turning out really great up there. I want to craft something that I've never crafted before. So see if I can remember how to do this. So we're going to take an ingot of netherite, and we need chisel this stone. Nice, good. And if we put that in the middle and these on the outside, yes, a lodestone. Nice. I have never crafted one of these. Man, that's a great looking block. It's too bad it's so expensive. Well, we're going to take this lodestone and we're going to fly on up to our new section. Way up there. We're going to fly on up here. Whoops, went a little too tall. Give you your first kind of reveal here. Really good looking. Here, let's land right here and we'll go into the free cam. Back it up here. So that is the next section up. And I like how it has these sort of different areas that sort of, like I was saying, kind of spiral around that central column. This first area right here, this is literally just somewhere to land. Added another one of our lamps to kind of keep things consistent. But yeah, if we want to come up here, this is where we can fly in. And then we have these really kind of precarious exposed staircases that kind of go all the way down. And then we've got this room here, kind of a tall, kind of ornate room. And right here in the middle, this is where I want to put the lodestone. And then what I think would be cool is if we put observers. Yeah, see how they kind of have those arrows? Kind of creates like a compass room. So we could come up here with a compass and tap it on the lodestone, and no matter where we go, the compass will point us back to this room, which is really cool. And then as we go up, we have this room up here. And there's a little kind of upstairs and then a little space over here. I think this room is going to be our smithing room. So if I put a smithing table right there and then maybe, I don't know, for now we'll just put a chest here. Up here is where we could keep all of our armor trims, and we could keep the materials for trimming the armor and that kind of thing. And then if ever we want to, make some fancy armor, we'll just fly up here to our smithing room. The idea with the base all along was that you had to fly in order to get up to it. Even our front door is way, way up in the air. And so I really like this idea of having these different spaces kind of speckled throughout the base that you have to fly in between. I just think it's really, really cool. The smithing table and the lodestone with our compass are going to be pretty important once we start running around and doing all the exploring to find all of the 1.20 stuff. Between episodes, I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting and playing around and see how 1.20 behaves, see how the mods are coming along and all of that. And one of two things will happen. Either we'll stay in 1.19 and finish the base, or we'll update to 1.20 and get to exploring. And that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.